You may have clicked on this talk because you've started to notice changes in your memory. Maybe you've found yourself forgetting names more often. Maybe you've walked into a room and wondered why you were there. Or maybe you're listening for someone close to you, a spouse, a parent, a friend, and you're quietly worried about them. And here's the question that sits uncomfortably in the back of your mind. Is this just normal aging? Or is dementia starting? That's what this talk is about. Not to frighten you, but to walk beside you. Because the earlier you recognize what's happening, the more control you keep over your future. And remember, dementia risk is not fixed. Even if it runs in families, research shows that treating things like high blood pressure, diabetes, hearing and vision loss, depression, and high cholesterol in midlife can reduce the risk or delay its onset. I've seen this many times in my work with older patients, and I've lived it in my own family. My father developed dementia, and I saw it firsthand how it affected him, his memory, his concentration, his ability to follow the news, or to enjoy his Sudoku puzzles. And I saw the grief it brought my mother, coping and coping until one day it became too much. So when I speak to you today, it's not just as a doctor, but also as a son who has walked this journey. When people think of dementia, they think of memory loss. But dementia is more than memory loss. It can show up as language problems, struggling to find the right words, concentration changes, no longer able to follow a movie, news, or a book, problem solving difficulties, handling bills, following recipes, planning tasks. I remember the day I had to take the tax return away from my father and give it to the accountant, even though he still insisted he could do it, but confusion was setting in. You may have orientation issues, getting lost, even in familiar places. Then judgment problems, poor decisions, vulnerability to scams. Mood and personality changes may be noticed by other people. Irritability, withdrawal, depression, and anxiety. Some of these are easy to miss. Many people do, but they are important clues. We all forget things. That's part of aging. Losing your keys, blanking on a name at a party, forgetting that you've come what you've come for in a room. These are everyday lapses. But dementia is different. It begins to interfere with daily life. It's not just misplacing your keys, it's forgetting what they are for. It's not just forgetting a name, it's forgetting that you even know the person. Normal aging is forgetting where you parked the car. Dementia is forgetting that you even drove to the place in the first place. Warning signs that go beyond normal aging include repeating questions, losing track of time or place, getting lost on familiar streets, struggling with bills, tax returns, or appointments, or noticeable changes in personality. And here's the hard truth. Often you may not notice these changes in yourself. It's your spouse, your children, or your close friends who spot them first. One of the most common reactions to memory problems is to brush them aside. I'm just tired. Everyone forgets things. Sometimes that's true, but in dementia, there's often another layer, a loss of awareness about how serious the changes are. The very part of the brain that helps you judge your own abilities may also be affected. That doesn't mean you're being stubborn. It means you may genuinely not see the extent of your difficulties. I remember my father, inscrutable as ever, insisting he could still manage tasks he once did easily, even as they slipped away. And I see the same with many of my patients. Their spouses carry the burden silently, resisting outside help until they discover that trained carers can provide better support, not a failure, but often better for their partner and a relief for themselves. Coming to terms with possible dementia is not just medical, it's emotional. It brings grief, grief for what you have already lost, grief for the certainty you once had, and grief for the future you imagined. That grief can look like sadness, frustration, even anger. It can look like silence, and that's normal. Feeling grief doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. But grief is not the whole story. Many families also discover new closeness, shared humor, and joy in small moments. Here's something important to remember. Not all memory problems are dementia. Other medical conditions can cause similar symptoms, and many of these are treatable. This is where the value of a family doctor comes in, especially one that has known you for years. That continuity of care makes a real difference. A trusted doctor can also gently coax you toward extra help when the time is right. And if you're worried because dementia runs in your family, know this: genetics load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. Even people with high genetic risks benefit from controlling blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, hearing, and vision problems. But even if it's early dementia, early action matters. It gives you time to plan, protect your voice, and make decisions before they slip away. Capacity means your ability to understand information, weigh it up, and communicate a decision. It doesn't vanish overnight, it fades gradually. In early dementia, most people still have capacity. They can still decide about their health, their money, their future. But as dementia progresses, capacity slips. At some point, a doctor may be asked to formally document that this line has been crossed. Why is this important? Because once capacity is lost, decisions are made by others. And if you haven't chosen who those people are, the system chooses for you. That can mean conflict, delays, and loss of control. So act. Act while you still can. The earlier you make decisions about health, finances, and care, the more dignity and control you preserve. So, what can you do today if you're worried about memory loss? First, see your family doctor. Bring a spouse or a trusted family member because their observations are crucial. 2. Write things down. Keep a diary of symptoms. It helps doctors see patterns. 3. Establish routines. Daily and weekly routines act as anchors. 4. Don't forget to exercise. Even gentle walks or stretching help both body and brain. 5. Start the conversation. It's difficult, but start. Talk openly with your spouse or children. 6. Look after your health basics. Recent research highlights treatable risks like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, smoking, hearing loss, vision problems, depression, inactivity, and social isolation. Every one of these makes a difference. And remember, dementia is usually a slow process. It unfolds over years, not days. That means there is time. Time to act, to plan, and to prepare. Don't panic if you notice early signs, but don't ignore them either. For those who are listening outside Australia, the principles are the same. Notice the signs, act early to protect your choices, but the pitfalls may differ a little. In the United States, the pitfall is cost. Medicare doesn't cover long term dementia care. In the United Kingdom, the pitfall is assumption the NHS doesn't cover social care, so families may have to sell a home. In Australia, the pitfall is trust. Our safety net is stronger, but aged care waiting lists are long, and confidence in nursing homes was shaken even after the Royal Commission. Wherever you are, the message is the same. Act early. The earlier you set up your documents, the more control you have. I know this is a heavy topic. Hearing about dementia is never easy, but knowledge is power. Facing dementia doesn't mean you are powerless. Yes, there will be some grief, but there can be also peace of mind. You still have a voice, and the sooner you use it, the longer it will carry. If you're worried about yourself or someone you love, don't wait. See your family doctor. Write these things down. Start those conversations now. And in our next talk, we'll go further, turning early conversations into practical plans, advanced health directives, enduring powers of attorney, wills, and aged care support. These aren't just bits of paperwork, they are safeguards for your dignity and for your family's peace of mind. For today, hold on to this. Dementia may take memories, but it does not have to take your choices. And by caring for your hearing, your vision, your heart, your connections, you protect not only your body, but your brain. Thanks for listening.